right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your daily horoscope for Thursday, September 30th, 2021. The moon is in the later degrees of the sign of Cancer, creating an opposition to Pluto early in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, the moon home in the sign of Cancer, this is about where we're emotionally comfortable, where we're emotionally reserved. And Pluto in Capricorn, well, this is big business. We have a lot of energy about us kind of growing up and maturing. Doesn't matter what age we are. It's the astrology that's being taught to us right now. It's what the universe is teaching us, is a sense of maturing into being able to handle our emotions, being able to express our emotions. That's what a lot of this Mercury retrograde is about, in connecting with other people. And this opposition, this tug of war, Pluto says we have to create change, transform something. The Capricorn Cancer axis here, where the moon is home, is saying this is where I feel safe, this is where I feel comfortable. And this is about us getting out of our comfort zone. And there's a lot of going on in astrology that's suggesting to get out of our comfort zones. Uranus in the sign of Taurus, this is get out of your comfort zone. We have Venus square to Jupiter today. This is another one that's kind of a get out of your comfort zone, because Venus, again, in the water sign of Scorpio, a place where it's the weakest in the zodiac. It's hiding emotions, it's hiding feelings, but at the same time, there are always two sides of the coin. On the positive side of a thing, and the positive side of things, we're using this energy to truly seek deep down inside of us, inside of our well, and see what makes us tick. What is the deep down desire? If it's a career, of course, Scorpio being the 8th house here deals with a connection, a collection of other people. What's yours and what's mine collectively we put together and create something that's bigger than ourselves. Are we afraid to connect with other people? Are we afraid to lose? It's like you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. So this takes stepping outside of our comfort zone to connect with the community, to connect with other people, to connect with radical thinkers that might put you on edge and say, I don't know if this feels comfortable. This is, this person's thoughts or the way that they're communicating is so different. I don't know a whole lot of Lady Gaga's music, but from what I understand, she walked into the record, label producer, whoever, and they listened to her music and they're like, I don't know. And she said, this is the music of the future. She had that vision. I don't know if she's an Aquarian or what her chart is, but that's the story, whether that's the truth or not. But that's kind of motivation behind this this meaning here. It's just like having that vision, saying this is it. This is the direction we got to go in. And other people might be uncertain about it. And because we're talking about Venus as well, we're talking about money. So you might be wanting to steering a ship. And the reason I pointed back to this here is Jupiter creating the septile to North Node in Gemini about communication. Yeah. Jupiter about abundance, and this is Aquarius, which is community, which is technology, which is out of the box thinking, which is out of the box views, ways of doing things, utilizing technology perhaps. Okay, so it's like communicating these ideas that might be quite passionate, but might be very different. All right, Mercury square to Pluto. This is suggesting a very similar energy, but in a different way. It's just like we have to be able to communicate those difficult concepts to the board. Maybe it's just like everybody on the board, we'll just use that as an example, was a young person with big ideas at one point in time, and that's how they got in that position. So we might have this idea, who are we to walk in here with, to Shark Tank and present our ideas to the sharks, to these, billionaires or whatever. And it's just like, hey, balance here, patience of the mind, be able to communicate. Take a couple of breaths, slow things down if we need to. We still have this air trine happening between Saturn, Mars, the Sun, and the North Node. The North Node back up to Saturn, all these air. This is all about patience when it comes to everything. Patience in communication, patience with other people, patience with the community, patience with our growth. Patience, it's like if we, we're all our own unique puzzle piece. We're all our own unique cookie cutter, you know. And we're moldable, and we always mold through time. And in a certain sense, part of this energy is just like wanting people to see the kind of cookie cutter you are and the kind of cookies that are potential if they choose you as the cookie cutter. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's what's coming through. So it's like, you know, if you, the elements of a flower, the elements of nature, all must be working properly in springtime for flowers to bloom, for certain flowers to bloom, right? Or certain conditions must be. Okay. So we're strategizing during this Mercury retrograde. We're thinking, what is the best way? How do I communicate? How do I express myself in the community, or in the job, in the workplace, or in my partnership? It can be any of these things, you know. How do I represent myself with a sense of maturity in creating that environment and creating that space where those flowers bloom? And those flowers would be the conversations and communication with other people. So we can use this, and it takes patience and time to water, for the sun, for the right cloud coverage. It takes work, dedication. That's something else Pluto is constantly reminding us the past 14 years it's been in the sign of Capricorn. Things take patience, things take consistency and time. And, and part of this energy as well, I can say, is like a lot of people will join you for the bonfire. You say, hey, friends, I got a bonfire. Come over Friday night. Cacao ceremony at Aaron's. But the preparation, it's like everybody's busy doing things as well. They're all living life. There's preparation. And that preparation, it's often done by self. Cutting of the wood or cut fruit or whatever. And this is anything. You want to, you're putting on a performance. You're putting on a show. You're a musician. Practicing your craft. That's like alone time. So the moon is representing this certain sense of like taking the time for yourself, that alone time that you do need, so that when you do go to the board, that when you do go to the show, that when you do put on whatever, or, it's not a performance, this is all about your authenticity, but it's still showing up, showing up as your authentic self. So it's like when we're showing up with these ideas, or with this communication, or with whatever, that we're pouring from a full cup. And despite, the challenges that might come, or better yet, the challenges we have in our own minds, like something we talked about yesterday, we can be quite in our own head, and we can psych ourselves out of things. We can manifest problems when there's not problems. We can think that's an argument in a head from a text we've read, and it's actually not. We can manifest all these kinds of things. And as the energy through the day moves, and the moon moves into the sign of Leo, there's that sense of fearlessness coming back, where I don't have to hide. This is at 9 p.m. at night, Eastern Daylight Time, so you know where that's at for you. Might be quite earlier in the day for you. Might be quite late. Either way. So the moon moving into Leo is either way giving us this sense of fearlessness, this courage now. Courage, we'll say courage is the best, And fifth house is about creative self-expression. So it's like, where do you feel comfortable in your vulnerability right now? This isn't about stage fright. This is about you pushing past stage fright. It's the antelope is right there, and you're hunting for your pack. You're hunting for yourself. It's your survival, and it's like our preparation that we put into this depends on how well we execute the hunt and whether or not we're going to eat. All right, friends, that's where we'll leave it. Have a beautiful Thursday, Jupiter days, abundance with your community, connecting with people. We'll see you tomorrow.